book review time. Book of the day is How to Find Happiness by Swami Satchidananda. I would highly recommend this book. It seems very small. It's about 68, 69 pages. But then again, it's only about $5 or $6, at least I bought it on Amazon. And the information in this book is absolutely life-changing. Even so, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the contents of this book. So there's 9 chapters. Pure heart, how to succeed in yoga, selflessness in karma yoga, self-surrender, the safest, simplest, and happiest life, necessity for a guide, understanding, a courageous mind, and a better world. And a lot of what Swami talks about, I'll just give a little introduction to Swami on the last page. So Swami Satchidananda was one of the first yoga masters to bring classical yoga tradition to the West. He taught yoga postures to Americans, introduced them to meditation, vegetarian diet, and a more compassionate lifestyle. During this period of cultural awakening, iconic pop artist Peter Max and a small circle of his artist friends beseeched the Swami to extend his brief stop in New York City so they could learn from the secret of finding physical, mental, and spiritual health, peace, and enlightenment. 3 years later, he led some 500,000 American youth in chanting Om when he delivered the official opening remarks at the 1969 Woodstock Music and Art Festival, and he became known as the Woodstock Guru. Did not know that, but this guy is an absolute beaut bag. If you read this, he's an absolute beauty. The distinctive teachings he brought with him blend the physical discipline of yoga, the spiritual philosophy of Vedantic literature, and the interfaith ideals he pioneered. So I would absolutely highly recommend this book, and it doesn't really matter what your beliefs are and what religions you follow, because he doesn't really talk about one specific faith. He talks about how everybody's faith has the truth in it, but we should learn to love each other and to learn to love ourselves unconditionally. And I'm just going to read some of the quotes from the back, which might convince you to want to read this book. And it says, "You were born with happiness. You were born with ease, but because you have done something to disturb that ease, you feel diseased." And dis with a / eased. And I believe that's the truth, that we're all born happy. We all are happy, but there's something that we kind of let our minds become dirty. We let our minds become unclean. And a big message of this book is really that if you want to change your life, if you want to change your world and feel happy, you need to clean your mind. Because the people that are unhappy are the people that have a dirty mind. And I don't mean dirty in the way that, like, you're thinking, or maybe it is that you're thinking bad thoughts, but really that you're thinking fearful and hateful thoughts towards yourself and towards other people. And somebody with a clean mind is always thinking loving, compassionate thoughts. And just one thing that he talks about a lot is meditation, which has completely changed my life. And I'll just continue reading this quote. "Then you become afraid of losing things because your happiness seems to depend on them." So he talks about not depending on material objects for happiness, but depending on really your own peace, because that's the only thing that's really eternal and lasting. And he says, "In yoga, you don't need to get something to make yourself happy. You are only to realize that you are already happiness personified." I mean, the wisdom of this guy, I don't know if you can see his pic, but just, wow, beard goals. But just reading the wisdom of somebody like this, somebody who's a master who brought yoga to the West, it's just completely invaluable. And for a price of like $5 or $6, even though it might seem like it's not a lot, it might seem like it's pretty small, but packed in these pages, packed in this small, maybe like, I don't know, 5 inches of book, is absolute gems of wisdom. It's literally gold in words. I don't want to overreact. Out of 10, I'd give this book about a 9.6 because it's just so relatable. The advice is so practical and useful, but it's also a quick read, and you can read it multiple times. And Swami also has, I have 6 of these types of books, which I've been reading. I'll probably do book reviews on all of them, but also the cover art is absolutely beautiful. Peter Max does a cover art. Give you a look at that. But it's just crazy. This guy is a great artist, and the relationship that they formed is just absolutely amazing. I'll read one more quote just to. All right, so this is just from the beginning. Selflessness and karma yoga. Perfection in action is yoga. A yogi can sit well, talk well, eat well, sleep well, and enjoy things without getting caught up in them. A yogi can enjoy the world because he or she knows the limitations, knows how far to go. Who are the good surfers? Those who can ride the big waves. Because they know that they're not going to get caught, yogis will even watch for big waves. They have surfboards and know how to balance themselves on them. Balance means tranquil. So another big part of his teachings, which is just coming to me now, is that he talks about you're not going to know if you're really a strong person unless you face difficulties. You're not going to know that you're a good surfer if you never are challenged by big waves. You're never going to know if you're just in the, and he also compares your mind to an ocean, which I completely agree upon this comparison, is that your mind has waves. Everything in life flows in waves, and you can't get caught up in the big waves. You can't let the big waves drown you. And so, yes, How to Find Happiness by Swami Satchidananda, giving it a 9.6. Highly recommend. Definitely worth your time and money. I'd recommend to read it 2 or 3 times. I know I'm probably going to read this like 10 times. And really take this information, infuse it into your consciousness, apply it into your life, and see how it changes your life. I know that I was already happy before I read this, but it just makes me happy reading this stuff and knowing that I already think a lot of the way that he thinks and writes in this book, which really shows me that I'm on the right path. But it also shows me that if somebody doesn't think this way, it's a very eye-opening and perspective-shifting literature. Perspective-shifting material. Leave it on that. How to Find Happiness by Swami Satchidananda. Highly recommend. 9.6. Have a good day.